All right, we are live. Take it, Alex.
All right, what's up, everybody? This is a live with just Table Monkey.
Do SEO smarter.
Sorry about
that. Good start.
Only Table Monkeys. We'll have more people joining hopefully soon. Obviously, me and Jason. And when you guys introduce yourselves,
Lewis, you want to go first?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, you pass it on to me. How's it going, everybody? I'm Lewis. I can be one of the refs, one of the most popular men probably at the competition. Everybody, if you win, you'll like me. If you lose, you'll hate me. But that's how it goes, right? It's the worst job.
that is
the job of the ref. But yes,
nobody wants the job.
Tough job.
But I will say, if anybody complains, I'm down to after pull them.
Yeah.
Just like they can just shut up right there. Unless it's somebody really good, then no.
Even that with the lineup of refs, if they want to challenge any of the refs, Earl, Evan, yourself, like go for Matt Smith,
I'm fresh.
Crazy.
Yeah, no, we got a good lineup of refs, and Louis has been a ref for us for ever since we started BAL. It's been somebody that's been a huge part of the whole Table Monkeys crew. So
yeah, very level-headed ref, not emotional, not biased.
Yeah,
although people love to hate
the refs.
Imply that you're very biased.
Doesn't matter who they are. So
yeah,
but there's plenty of refs at this event, so hopefully they can spread the hate.
Spread the hate around, exactly.
Hashtag spread the hate.
And then Issa, yeah.
All right, what's up, guys? I'm Issa. I'm relatively new arm wrestler. I've been training since like maybe about a year ago or so, and I'll be competing in the amateurs 171 to 200 pound weight class, and it's my first tournament, so we'll see how it goes. Should be fun.
Oh, nice. This is your first tournament ever? I didn't know that.
First tournament ever. Yep.
Awesome.
Wow, what an event to start at.
I know, man. I know. Should be fun.
Yeah. It should. Yeah, it's going to be. Hopefully, it's a lot of people's first event. That's like the goal of putting on a good amateur tournament is that it brings out a lot of amateurs that get to have that as their first experience.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of new Table Monkeys I've seen from like Steve's videos and from like your guys' videos as well. So it'd be really exciting to pull them as well. See where everybody's at.
Yeah. It'll be good to see. We'll have a lot of guys pulling each other on the Table Monkeys team for sure in the amateur, and hopefully, like it's funny seeing everybody talking, not like really talking shit, but just getting excited to pull each other. And I'm just like, you guys realize when you get there and you see every other group, like every other team that has their like 10, hopefully like amateurs that are there, and you're like, okay, wait, we got to like stick together. Beat all these other teams now, because that's part of what's cool when you go to your first tournament is just realizing how deep the fields are.
Oh yeah.
At Umesh's event, wasn't there one of the amateur classes that had like 30 or 40 pullers?
Yep. Yeah, I believe it was the 200-pound class.
Yeah, it's a big class. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully we have something similar to that. One
How
thing.
are you feeling, Lisa, leading up to the tournament?
I feel good. Yeah, I feel like my left is going to do a little bit better than my right, but again, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, you're going to pull both arms, obviously, then?
Yeah, I'll definitely. Yeah.
Nice.
Because like with left, I have more like confidence to go like offensive. I feel like for right, I'm just going to be like going more for defense, at least to start, and then like working my way out of it, but see how it goes.
Yeah. Right's always a little more competitive, too. It just always works out.
Oh, yeah.
That right's a little bit more of a competitive. Like as far as the whole field, you might have some guys that are really good on left, which makes the
I think the amateurs. I always think the amateur is going to be deep.
Yeah. Really competitive.
To kind of because remember the status quo when we first started pulling was like less than a year. Never really like it was a lot more strict in a sense. Like you had to really be new, but now there's plenty of guys around the Ontario scene that they have maybe a couple years experience. They can't really pull in pros, but they could be good amateurs. So I think the level of competition will be quite high.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A lot of people started during COVID too, so they didn't get to compete. So they've been pulling longer than the average amateur, but they haven't actually competed.
Yeah,
they're normal like guy that's had summit tournament experience.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of that, and arm wrestling is growing so fast that people are just looking for tournaments. So like Alex said, because there hasn't been a lot. As soon as there is one, it's like a bunch of people jumping, So but that was one thing I noticed at Ottawa Open was like the higher the level of the tournament, the higher the level of the amateur competition, you know? All right. Let's see who this is. I got R entered, so we'll find out.
I was gonna say, as long as we don't have any surprises like at Umesh's event, any Indian state champions, 5-year arm wrestlers who want to enter.
Yeah, show up. And, yeah.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that guy still around
he
somewhere?
didn't win the class.
He
That's
didn't win the
one of the
class.
reasons. Well, sorry.
He didn't even win the class.
Yeah.
A state champion, whatever he was, 5 years pulling. Look, yeah, he didn't win the class, but you know, I hope he comes around to pull pros this time.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing too, is that with the amateurs is you can't make winning them that prestigious, or else you get people who want to just win them. You know what I mean? That's why it's like when somebody complains about, like why didn't I get a better medal, or why isn't there more like prizes for the amateur or something like that? It's because that's what makes an amateur, and that's what makes it that somebody who wants to like if you want to actually win that stuff, then you have to compete pro and try to, you know what I mean? You can't just like go down and wipe the floor with people and call yourself an amateur and win. So that's part of making sure that that's part of, I think, how you keep it that way.
Is that Rohan? I think it's Rohan, but
Is it? Yeah, I got no audio and no video, so
gotta show
I think
turn
he's
the
muted.
video and audio on, man.
Yeah, I think Rohan, you might be muted if you're that's who's joining us.
Oh,
no.
you're trying. You might.
Bailed out. It's all good. Sometimes those connections are shit.
Top Troll in the chat. Come on, get in the Zoom call, bro.
Right, Top Troll.
Need
Top
you
Troll.
over here.
By
Yeah.
the way, this is
Sean
kind of
Carlinator in the chat.
not arm wrestling
Yeah.
related, but Mr. Top Troll King, aka Steve, is the biggest hypochondriac I know.
Yeah.
Clearly, he thinks that leaving a pot of soup with chicken breast in it overnight means that it's gone stale or bad and at room temperature, and he'll probably die if you eat it. It's not the truth, Steve. Eat the chicken. Be a man.
I'm gonna have to unfortunately disagree with Lewis on
Be a
this
man.
one. Like, don't eat the chicken if you left it on the counter overnight. But
That's one way to lose weight.
Will you die? Maybe not. Like, but yeah, I definitely. If there's any slime to it, if there's any, controlled nature to the liquid, then definitely don't eat the chicken.
But doesn't that mean that the protein is more bioavailable? It's already broken down.
No, it's like the wrong kind of fermentation. Yeah, it's
Probiotic.
If it smells like ammonia, it goes straight to the muscles.
It's
Exactly.
just biotic. It's yeah. But you would be surprised how many you know what? A lot of people would say as long as you just boil it, it's fine. So,
Boil it? As long as you doesn't boil it?
What's that?
What does the boiling have to do with anything?
Well, it's going to kill off most of the bacteria. Like if you left it out overnight and then boil it, if there was some funk in it, you'll get like a lot of bubble, like a lot of froth when you boil it. And then if you just skim that off, you'd be less likely to feel ill. That's where like the idea of like, oh, you have a cast iron stomach. It's like if you grew up eating stuff on the edge, just like Devin talks about that guy that eats like that he knows that lives like way up north that eats like super like he'll literally eat like salmonella because he's eating the bacteria to like get the good bacteria, which there is some truth to that. But the point is, with our dumbed down modern diets, our stomachs aren't really fucking ready to deal with that. But yes, I could see Steve being worried about the pot of soup, and I would be too, but that's just because I'm extremely anal about that shit.
Oh shit! Super chat from USS Liberty never forgets. Paul Maiden versus Neil Pickup. Who wins? So they had that match in Onwards back in the day, right?
I was gonna say if it's like right now, I think it would probably be Paul. I feel like he's active and like actually still pulling than Neil, but at their both at their peaks, I don't know.
But I've seen Neil. I mean, it's probably a year old, but the clips of him with Eddie Hall and other people, he looked really strong. I don't think it's
sure Neil still is like strong. I just
a month to get back into shape, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I can't say I've watched a ton of Neil matches to know exactly how he pulls. I just remember that one left-handed match with Michael Todd, and that's like, Yeah, he's like tons of back pressure, right? Like,
Oh yeah,
back pressure with the smallest hand too. Very impressive. A lot of pronation, back pressure, pronation, high riser.
yeah. So then him and Paul would be probably a really good match. They're like if they're both at their best, right? Like going to the same spot. Oh, here comes Top Troll.
there we go.
There we go.
Thank you for the super chat, by the way.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Let us know who you think.
Oh, it's 420 also.
There he is.
This is 420.
Hey,
420.
Steve.
Appreciate that. What's up, Steve?
Connecting audio. Come on, Steve. Don't be a boomer, aka.
He's on Zoom calls all day long. Can't figure this one out. Can't hear you, man.
Audio's not there yet. It's almost there, bud. You trying to get a background going?
We're losing half of his bald head.
All right, the audio failed.
Audio's still trying to work itself out.
By the way, in separate news, so at the last competition at Magda's competition event, I was there with Alex Kashadze and Paul Babbitts.
Yeah.
And Paul handed me his phone, right? And it's a locked phone. He's like to take videos, and he's like, hold on. Do you know how to take a video on it if it's locked? And I was like, what are you talking about? Of course I know how to do that. He's like, I don't know. You're a millennial. And it hit me at that point. I was like, millennial doesn't actually mean that you're young anymore. It means you're.
Yeah.
I remember I yelled at him in Kashadze and I said, I've been using more advanced technology since you guys were children. You can't even afford a phone. Like, what do you mean I don't know how to use technology? But I realize now, millennial, like, done for.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's such a funny point.
Gen Zers, the Zoomers.
Steve, where you at? Audio yet? No, still can't hear
you. Eat the chicken, Steve.
Yeah. Consensus.
One way to lose weight, though, eh? We just eat the chicken and just like pee out all the water or whatever. You just like
puke it out for sure.
Yeah. Puking shit. Yeah.
Isa, I see that.
You have to eat a lot of it to get really sick. Like kill yourself.
Yeah.
All right.
Steve, where you at?
Yeah, you hear me now?
There's yeah.
All right.
What's
okay.
up, buddy?
We don't see you.
We got no video though.
Oh no! Well,
We'll take what we can get at this point.
He's trolling us.
There he is.
Yeah, right.
There he is.
I don't use Zoom. I use Teams, so I don't know how to use Zoom. I've only used Teams, Microsoft.
Oh,
are you a millennial?
Yeah, it's some millennial shit, Steve. What's going on?
It's work shit. So anyway.
Steve, your filter makes you look like a fucking alien.
I didn't put that on, but yeah, JW, you see a pronator, JW? Oh, I'm turning into a lariat right there. Fuck.
Steve, introduce yourself.
Stem cells, baby.
Yeah. All day.
Steve,
what's up?
Tell me about yourself.
Pardon me?
Tell me something about yourself.
Tell you something about myself?
Shout out your channel. Are you competing this weekend? How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm competing, and I'm getting old. I'm 3 years from Masters, boys. Holy smokes!
Wow.
Right.
I'll be 40 in 3 summers. Yeah, turning 37 this year, so it's kind of fucky. But yeah, I'm competing, and you know what's cool? I thought about this today. I'm like, oh, this event is gonna be like my 3-year anniversary from Table Monkey starting, because Table Monkey started around April 2020. And I went to Devin's seminar in January. But after that one time in January, like January 11, 2020, I didn't arm wrestle till Jason invited me the first time and Miguel was there. And so I was so nervous. I was like, oh, holy smokes, I don't know if these guys are going to be super intense. Like, fucking Jason scared me at first. I'm looking at him, I'm like, holy fuck, that's a big dude. I could just tell you're an intense guy. And I was so like thinking these guys are like, not friendly, and it was like way more aggressive. So I kind of learned quick. I'm like, oh fuck, and then we were blazing it up, and anyway, cool to reminisce. Where'd Lewis go? Did he drop?
I'm right here, man.
Oh, he's right there.
Oh, I took your video space, that's why I'm looking on my phone. Oh, I see it on my TV. It's different. Should we
Don't
go?
make us millennials look bad. I was just talking about millennials like the technology and improving them
I
right
know. I know. Well, I
You get
just told you.
confused. Where did Lewis go?
You
Where's
and
this
Jason
video?
are-
What the fuck?
Yeah.
The old guys here.
Yeah.
You're turning 40 this year, right? Is it next year or this year?
Next year. Yeah.
Okay, you got one more year.
Turn 39 this year. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It is
Older,
crazy.
older and wiser. Yeah, I can't get this set up.
Older and wiser, hopefully.
Still working on it.
Yeah. We're still working on the wiser. Just keep getting older.
You say you're in amateurs. You're competing in amateurs, obviously, right?
Yeah, amateurs.
And
Yeah.
Steve, you're in pro or amateur?
No. You think I'm a pro?
Well, I don't know. You've been kicked out of amateurs before. Maybe we're gonna kick
I've
you.
never pulled amateur. You see this?
Quality, my
Only
friend.
quality.
100% quality. This and this one. This is one just for Lewis. Uh-oh.
Bush. Well, that one's more for Evan. That's piss water, but
Yeah.
Anyway,
gonna help.
yeah, I'm gonna see how my
There won't
left
be any
hand feels.
bush at this. There won't be any bush at this event, unfortunately.
See that nastiness?
Almost-
Oh, jeez.
What's
Yeah.
that?
goodness.
What
That
happened
was
there?
a rock climbing fall. Knuckles
Oh.
scraped the wall. My left has been sore for so long anyway, so it's going to be a game time decision. And I won't reveal my techniques, but I'm kind of different sided or whatever than my rights. But my right's feeling like I'm pretty fucking excited. I really hope I make weight. Even though I'm drinking the beer, it's like, oh, well, a couple I've,
Eat the chicken. It'll help you.
Yeah, so that
Medication kills me.
Zine or something, or Sheen or one of the Chinese dudes was like, it's fine, just heat it up and eat it. I was thinking about boiling it, but I'm also like, is it worth it? And
Well,
I've
I
already
mean-
put it off. I don't want to get the shits and
We've got
Yeah,
the
that's the worst that's gonna happen is you're just gonna get a shitty stomach. But
yeah.
like I said, boil it if you want, boil it. And if there's a lot of like foam, like frothy, you boil
Yeah.
it, then fucking don't worry about it. And then just be like,
Right.
yeah. If it doesn't really foam up and it doesn't smell sour, then fucking
I left it simmering with the lid on, so I was like, no, maybe it
Overnight?
stayed warm for a few hours and was only, but I don't know. Now
whoa,
I'm kind of,
wait. You left it simmering and then what? So how long was it out?
so like I got kind of buzzed and I was just whatever. Anyways, I left it simmering till like midnight, turned it off maybe
Yeah.
around midnight, and then like got up and realized at like 10 a.m. or noon or somewhere around that. or
Oh, that
something.
it was still on the stove? Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah. Whatever. Fuck it. I don't know. It's not probably worth it. Three chicken breast waste is the worst part. The rest is like, some bacon, a little bit of bacon.
What are you doing buying chicken breasts, man? Get some thighs.
I love chicken thighs, man. Chicken breasts are hard to eat. But
Yeah, you want to gain some weight, it's the chicken thighs.
yeah, but I'm 170. I was 178, and then I got to 176. And I'm like, I'm never gonna make 170.
You gotta try the water cut, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying.
This water load, man.
I have been doing that. I've been pissing like all day today.
Yeah, perfect. That's exactly right. So that's all you're doing is tricking your body. You're
and this is water and a little bit of carb calories. So.
Yeah, and the carb calorie is just gonna actually the beer's not bad because it will dehydrate you, but you don't the idea is not to dehydrate yourself yet. That's why when people are like a week out and they're like, oh, I'm almost there. I gotta keep just a couple more days in the sauna. It's like, no, that's not how you do it. You trick your body by drinking a ton of water you're doing now, so that you start pissing and your body starts excreting water like crazy, and then you just cut the water out and
dry. Yeah.
And then you can add a bunch of things like some diuretics, like dandelion root and stuff. You want to go natural, or you can go all crazy if you want to be a nutball.
Yeah, I might sweat it out on the treadmill. I mean, I lost 2 pounds doing that the other night. I was like, oh,
yeah, that's
at least 1 pound. It was like.
That's the thing is when you water load and then cut that out and then sweat on the treadmill, you lose like 2 or 3 times as much because your body's already like trying to just get rid of it.
Yeah, I think I'll make it.
Who's in the chat?
Or if I don't, I'm gonna see you then, Issa. We'll have a rematch if
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Because you're 200, right?
I'll be in 200s, yeah.
JW eating raw broccoli and beef with no seasoning right now. There you go. So I think he said he was 190ish, so he had to like actually cut the carbs and change the diet.
Is JW competing as amateur?
JW, no, I think he's trying to make weight for pro.
He's doing pro.
I was gonna say he's gonna be pretty good.
He's good to challenge himself up in pro for sure.
I was thinking whether or not to do just right-hand pro as well. I was like, oh, maybe I should do instead of left hand and just do pro right hand, but I don't know.
You could do that. I mean, I would like, as far everybody keeps asking, and I mean, I don't think you're going to take offense to this. I feel like your skill level is right on
Yeah,
that line.
yeah.
JW is like right, like JW's there-ish too, probably over it, and then that's kind of how I want it to be gauged. And it's like I said, that's why like winning amateur, I want it to be fun. I want it to be an experience for everybody to like get to be there, but I don't want it to be enough in it for people to like actually think like, oh, I don't want to pull pro. I'm gonna go win that amateur prize. That looks like a really cool prize. You know?
No, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of a lame thing to do if you're like midway in pro, unless you're totally getting spanked in all the pros and like never.
That's what
never,
it is. That's what it's.
Yeah.
That's what I think is fine. It's like if
Yeah.
you know this is going to be a super competitive pro tournament,
Which it will be.
if you'll get a win in the pro tournament at all, then for sure,
Yeah.
go down, do the amateurs.
That's why I wanted to do amateur, because I'm like, all right, well, I think to your point, I think it'll be somewhat still like a high level amateur, or maybe the
It should
highest.
be, yeah. I don't think winning the amateur is going to be necessarily easy for.
No, I know. I was like, maybe
really
placing top 3 would be amazing, but even that, I'm like, oh, let's just hope I win a match. I don't know.
No, you'll win.
Actually, so JW is just joining now, but as I was just talking about prizes, so I'll give you guys a little update because we got another prize now that we're talking about like the pro and the amateur and that kind of stuff. JW, what's up, buddy? So the prizes already that we got the table with the pulley system, and then just the regular or just the table, and then the $500 cash, and those are only like for the pro arm wrestlers. Then we have the party packs that we talked about, right, for steam whistle and everything, and then spectators can buy into that raffle, but the pro wins still count towards it. And then JW, what are you trying to say?
You're muted, Joe
Oh,
W.
you're muted. That's what's up.
Yeah, you have to like accept it on your Wi-Fi, or that's what I fucked up.
Yeah.
Join with computer audio. JW proving that
Yeah,
even
join with Wi-Fi or data, or I don't know what the other choice was.
I know how to use shit.
Oh, that's a,
Of course,
He's
he's
not a millennial. He's fine. He knows how to use this stuff.
Yo, look what I'm eating. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's gonna work.
Yeah.
See, right?
No salt, no carbs. These have like spinach has like 3 grams of carbs per 100, but like it's almost nothing. So
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's just fiber. It's not.
JW, I told you my secret though. If
Not gonna hold any
you don't care
moisture.
about performance the night before, drink half a bottle of vodka with the sauna baths too.
If you don't care about performance.
Alcohol is it
Yeah.
dehydrate you, so that
But
could
it
work.
has to be like pure vodka. It has to be a pure distilled spirit.
But they could do that on Thursday, weigh in Friday, and be fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know what? It is. Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah,
Did
it's nice.
Did you guys
It's nice
notice,
that
did you guys see Victor is in the chat?
Yeah.
And he's
Velo?
coming. Well, eh, supposedly.
Yeah.
Victor's coming, right? 200-pound class.
That's what I heard, yeah.
Victor, can you confirm, please, in the chat?
Yeah.
Is he 200 class or 220?
200.
There's no 20.
Oh, right. It's,
240.
240 and then up.
What was that about 240? Sorry, I missed what you guys were saying.
Victor's in the 200 class, and then there's no 220. That's what I was saying. There's no.
Oh, there's no 220 for this.
No,
one.
in
Victor, they're
between.
asking for you
I
to
didn't-
confirm.
I'm here.
200
Hello.
dollars, you're
Yes.
coming.
Yeah, Victor, are you coming to the? Yes, fucking
Yes,
right.
sir.
He's coming.
Let's 200.
That's awesome. Fuck yeah. 200 class is gonna be fucking stacked.
Oh,
I
man,
know
Master,
Jay Charles is coming, and I don't know if he's trying to make 200 or not. He doesn't said anything. But because the 240 class is competitive,
I wonder
you would do there. But if Jake Charles comes in at 200 as well, that's a
in the 200 class. Though, I honestly think my dark horse, which is not really a dark horse, but Josh Rodriguez has been killing it
Oh
lately.
yeah.
he's been doing really
Very
good. Yeah,
tricky in
man.
the setup.
That battle that he had with Darrell, even though he lost that one, he won the match overall. But that battle was so good, and the match itself, he was relatively dominant. It was just that match that Darrell really got in there.
I feel like it's the right time for him as well. A lot of the top older pullers at 200 aren't really pulling anymore. So
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of good names or top names. Victor's coming obviously to win.
Yeah,
But
Troy-
other than
Tarian's
that,
gonna
who
be
else?
there.
Sorry, who?
Anthony,
gonna be
obviously,
there at
yeah.
200.
Anthony left-hand, right?
Who
Oh,
else?
yeah?
Another
Troy,
guy who's coming in 200 class, Jordan Rezka.
yeah,
Could.
Renska's
Oh,
coming
yeah.
Good.
in.
Jordan's gonna
Troy Eaton's gonna be there at 200.
Yeah,
Um,
Jordan's gonna win the super heavies.
But Jordan's light though. That the issue is he's been real light, so he's gonna be like the lightest guy in that class.
Yeah,
Is that-
he would have if
making
he was. I
70?
think he was on vacation or something, so he wasn't really thinking to make a cut.
True.
But if he could have made if he could have really dedicated to doing a water cut, I think he could have made 170 almost from where he was. It might have been a little too far, but yeah, he has been a lot lighter. But fuck, he's been pulling really well, really strong.
Oh yeah.
You guys talk about Alan Ford and John Tarian?
Yeah, Alan, as far as I know, I haven't heard. He hasn't confirmed 100%, but I think he's planning on pulling. And yeah,
At
Tarian's
200?
coming.
Yeah, but yeah, can he make weight? Is it? Or
I don't
is it
know if
super
I don't know if
heavy?
Alan will make 200. Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah,
the thing without the 220 class, and we didn't do it because it's not part of the qualifying. So
It's Engen's rules, right?
yeah, it
Yeah.
was like some of the other qualifiers did it, and it was like I just didn't know what, like, if somebody won the 220 the 220
Oh right.
class,
Yeah.
where do you put them?
No, yeah, that's kind of what.
You
Yeah,
can't take it away from the 200 or the
Yeah.
240 guy, obviously. So
it gets
Yeah.
awkward.
uh, but yeah, fucking
Yeah, John Tarian's confirmed.
yeah.
He's confirmed, eh? Okay.
And then if Alan Ford's pulling super heavies, he might end up facing BLM, right?
Well, 240?
Ford,
Yeah.
He'd be at
if he
240,
pulls
yeah.
240, yeah. If he pulls 240, then yeah.
Oh, is there 240 to? I thought that was what 220 was, or is it 240 plus?
No, yeah, it's like 201 to 240 is the 240 class, and then
Right, okay,
241
sorry.
plus is super heavies.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, and even
that's-
super heavies, I'm not even sure who's necessarily coming. I know Conrad had said that he might come a while ago, and it looks like he's training and everything. He posted a couple things. I know Rick is coming. I've seen Ian pulling a little bit. I'm sure we're gonna get a bunch of other like newer guys.
Colganator's asking who's going to be in the 170 class. They're sending, obviously, the Ottawa High.
Wolverine. Who's
Well,
the
I
Wolverine?
guarantee you guys, I can already
Nice
tell you who's
call,
going to
Alex.
win. I can already tell you who's going to win the 170 class if he makes weight. And I will guarantee it beyond a reasonable doubt.
Who?
Matt Hamlin.
Yeah, I've
Oh,
heard he's a
tall
beast
guy.
right now. I've heard he's on fire right now.
I don't think
Word
anybody
on the street.
What'd you say? Sorry, Alex?
I said that's the word on the street.
Yeah, that is the word on the street. Yeah.
So would he just crush at some PL event? Is that
Yeah,
why you
we after pulled after, etc. I think he's learned how to set up a little bit better. He's still fairly new. His first competition was provincials last year, where he placed like second or third. I remember the exact place, and that was his first ever competition. But his levers, I think I mentioned.
Oh, he was that new. I didn't realize he was that new.
Yeah, he's got the
that's
same
impressive.
levers as you. And I think he was mentioning that in training, he trains with Dan Belfoy, right? He crushes Dan right now as well. So it's not as if he was just good that tournament, like even in training. And on the side table, he felt very strong. He knew exactly in a loaded position, he felt like he was 220 pounds with your levers, Alex, and a much stronger grip. That grip was like, I don't know, like a super heavyweight grip. If you can turn him in and go in a hook, he's also very strong. Kashadze started with him in a hook and was just getting dusted.
fuck?
Wow. That's very impressive.
What does he do for work?
I don't even know, but I don't know who else is in
Smash
the
his
170
fools.
class. Who else
What'd you
could
say?
make 170 that
It's
is
smash his
very high
fools.
level?
That's what he does for work.
Brad Wade.
Yeah, but he
Brad
felt
Wade's coming in hard. Yeah, he's. I know. I don't know. I don't know which arm, but one arm is a little tweaked, so I think he might only pull on one arm. But
it might be the right arm. I saw Jordan beat him in a couple, like a month and a half ago, right?
maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Jordan. I saw a video. Jordan killed him in a competition. So
Gordon, what a killer!
Oh, that was the one where Jordan beat Rick.
yeah,
Yeah, it was the same competition. Jordan was on fire that day. Yeah, and he was pressing like through Brad in that one, and Brad was like trying to adjust and figure it out, and Jordan was still kind of too much.
You guys want Miguel to join?
Yeah.
Oh,
Because he's in the gym right now, but I told him he still needs to join.
Well, he can if he wants to.
when is Miguel not in the gym, man?
We got a question in chat. Can you guys talk about how Monster Michael Todd will come back?
Yeah, honestly,
Which version?
I haven't seen his most recent video, but like the surgery on his arm, if it holds, like the range of motion and everything that he's got back, like yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he pulls.
So Vince asked, has anyone in the group had to deal with a long recovery? We've got 2 torn biceps in the
chat.
This one was torn. That one was torn. So I hope Monster Michael Todd actually does come back as 43.0 or whatever version he's on and absolutely kill it. Because I think it would be inspiring, awesome. Right? For a guy that was upward slope, crashed to the bottom, kept crashing, tore his bicep. It's going to be a good redemption story.
Yeah, well,
if he comes back.
Yeah,
100%. And I forget what I was going to say, but yeah, no, I hope he does come back and everything, because yeah, it speaks to the longevity of the sport, It's fucking...
He's always entertaining. I know like a lot of people hate on him, and I like to hate on him just for a little bit for fun, but man's super entertaining.
He hasn't banned me from his comments either. He hasn't deleted any comments.
Yeah, and look at that match with Jerry. Like that's crazy, and like he's a psycho, So I don't know.
Yeah, there's obviously no quit. And to be honest, the way the recovery's going, as much as like he's done a bunch of stupid shit before and he doesn't listen and all that stuff, it seems like he's really taken the recovery like actually 100% proper. Like he's not letting his ego or anything get in the way and go above what he's supposed to be doing, So
yeah.
What's up, boys? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, got you, man.
There you go.
Sure.
You're there. What are you doing? Training?
Yeah, he's straight at the gym, man. Look at this man.
Do some chin-ups.
Look at that form. Oh my god.
Nice. Coach Sanders said it himself.
Yeah.
Oh, he's doing it on a towel style.
Steve, what are you doing with that towel, man? Where's it?
Miguel, are you pulling on Saturday?
Yeah, just left.
Oh yeah, just left. Right. Yeah, you're right. Is now I remember.
It's that little.
Yeah.
How much longer on the right before it's looks like you can train pretty hard, obviously.
Yeah, so I was cleared to get back on the table in like 2 weeks from this weekend, and then I should be good to compete at provincials.
Nice.
We've got a pretty nice comment by USS Liberty that I got to get some clarification on. He needs, talking about my Monster Michael Todd, needs to come train with me in Africa for a few weeks. Possibly agreed, why not? But Rebecca cannot come with him. Why not? I've only ever heard.
I guarantee you that's 100% deal breaker.
Louder, Lewis. What was the end of that?
What's that? What'd you say, Steve?
Oh, what was the end of it? Lewis said something at the end of that about
Rebecca. He's asking that Rebecca can't come with them to Africa to train. So I think it's the first time I've ever heard that. I think most competitions would rather kick out Michael and just keep Rebecca, but for training purposes, it might be a more hardcore environment. Why not?
Yeah, no, but yeah, there's no way he's not going anywhere without Rebecca. That's 100%.
No, she's a ride or die. The best support I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, she's awesome, man.
I don't know. I think Jody might win that one, or at least in the corner.
This is not untrue. Although you will see like Devin and Jody, as much as they're ride or die, they're
not outside of the match.
Inseparable as
I don't mean that way.
Like Michael and Rebecca don't go anywhere without each other.
Yeah, true.
You will often see Devin wandering alone.
yeah. That's different. I meant more in the competition. Like who would you rather?
Who would you rather have in the corner? I don't know that. Yeah, but Jody might win that one just because she's
exactly.
Savage. Yeah.
Fucking elbow down.
Rebecca and him are more like it's more like Rebecca's his like professional training partner.
Yeah, well, she's also
like director, organizer, YouTube, all that.
She supports him huge. Yeah, that's
exactly, which is awesome. I'm not hating on it.
Yeah, totally.
Vince P is saying his worst fear is a torn bicep.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, mine didn't even hurt, to be honest. But
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. I would
Lewis, you ripped yours lifting the couch. I remember the story.
Yeah.
The next day, you're like, I would lift my couch, and it's like, I thought I ripped my underwear.
well, it was partially torn before, and I refused to admit it. I was like, it's just a twitch. Just
Yeah,
a
he came up
twitch,
to me
yeah.
afterwards. He's like, I think I might have torn it, but I don't know. And it's just like,
Oh,
like,
my
I think that might be not good. Yeah, and he definitely no after pulling. And I'm pretty sure you probably did after.
Yeah,
pulling.
I did after pull, of course. I did.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was bad. I stopped after like a couple of matches, but yeah, that day was not a good day. But don't worry, Vince. Torn bicep is not the worst. I would say broken arm is probably a lot worse. It's definitely way more painful and
I
traumatic.
think, yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. And when it like that, then you're like, it's all like you can't move around with the torn bicep. You can almost not even realize it, you know?
Yeah, a week
Like
after
when I did mine, I was trying to be like, no, I probably like I can still move my arm. It feels like it's probably okay. Lewis came over right away and he goes, no, sorry, you're
I
fucked.
tried to feel your tendon, and I was like,
yeah, you just went and felt the tendon, and you were like, you just looked at me, you were like, no, sorry, bro. And then Paul gave me some rubber bandage, and I like taped it, put the ice and rolled it up quick so that it didn't bleed, and then it didn't bruise that bad. It's the same thing. I was like, well, maybe it's okay, but no.
Vince, honestly, most of the injuries in arm wrestling it's as traumatic as they sound. Unless you need to, like, you're a manual laborer for work, or you need one of your arms to do something, or else you can't earn a living. The recovery time on even a broken arm or a torn bicep is not that high, and it's not going to have chronic issues for the rest of your life.
That's a great reason why. Again, I talk about all the time why this sport's so cool. Is like yes, you're risking from your shoulder to your fingertips, and there are like serious injuries, like you might fucking tear your shoulder out, or you might destroy your elbow, break your arm, or tear your bicep. But you're like you just said, other than the shoulder, which maybe could be something that might be looked at a little bit chronic, other than that, there's nothing chronic, and there's also nothing like, not nothing chronic, because after a long time, you got a lot of little aches and pains, but it's like a specific injury that caused it. And the big thing is no brain damage, no neck injuries, no back injuries, no knee injuries. Like your elbow's fucked up. Okay, that sucks. Yeah, you can't reach for things, and there might be some other like part of your daily life that sucks. But when your knee is fucked, yeah, you can't throw a football, fine, whatever. But when your knee is fucked, like when you played football through all of high school and all of college, and you were a running back, and both your knees are just fucking shot once you hit 40.
My dad.
What's that?
That was my dad. One of his knees. He was the star quarterback, and in the final game in high school, he got, I think, like 4 or 5 touchdowns, and they won. But on the very last play, he like got his knee just ripped up, smashed, and the cartilage basically was like destroyed. And then so it's bone grinding on bone, and he had surgery. And
if I had to rate the worst type of injury for chronic issues for the rest of your life, definitely back injuries. There's, I also I work in an office environment, and there's people, hundreds of people, somebody's bound to have back issues. The back issues have people out for months, and they're recurring, even post-surgery for herniation. They require complete retraining. Mr. Alex Curie's personal training services and rehabilitation services for years upon years, just to become a normal human, let alone lift weights and do other shit.
Yeah, no,
I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Yeah, no, back injuries are definitely the worst, of all of them. And that's another one that really, are you going to suffer a back injury from arm wrestling?
No,
maybe not. You might pull a back muscle while arm wrestling, or tweak your back or something a little bit, but you're not going to bulge a disc or fucking crack a vertebrae or something.
If there's any beginners watching, remember to warm up your legs too, because
that's the worst when your legs start cramping in the middle of your fucking.
No, worse than a cramp was I won't say who it is because he's competing, so I don't want to let the competition know he might have a injury. But one of the people in our associated crew, he thought he tore his leg in a recent big match.
Yeah.
And I think he said he did maybe tear it a little, but it's, he's able to walk on it.
I'm pretty sure Matt Mask tore his hamstring.
Yeah, Matt tore the
part. It was adductor,
Yeah, tore his adductor, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, This is more advertisement from a Security's personal training services
I don't
online
think
in
it's super
person,
common.
because there's no way that anybody who actually squats and trains legs is going to injure their legs arm wrestling. I would
This is
love
true.
to see that.
I
How is
think
that possible?
No,
When
that's
that
a good
math-
point. That is a good point. That is why it
Mhm.
happens, because you don't use your legs, and then you're
Yeah.
going so balls out that your whole
Hard,
body
yeah.
is tensing, and then
Yeah.
your legs are being used to like brace yourself, either like as you're falling back in a top roll or as you're trying to push yourself across the table.
yeah.
And yeah,
It's definitely a full body sport. I've come out of competitions with my calves incredibly sore from
Ooh, yeah.
wrapping around the table and
yeah.
Yeah,
pressing
trying to get
them,
up on your
right?
tippy toes.
Yeah,
I couldn't walk the next day after my first match with Jordan because the whole time I was like, calf like that on my tippy toes. So it was like the next day I get out of bed, I'm like, oh,
yeah.
felt like I did like a one leg calf extension like 500 times or something. And then,
Yeah.
but it was never as bad after that. I don't know why. I just got used to it, or
Yeah,
I
well,
think I got so much.
it's because you hit a limit, right? You like push yourself.
Yeah, and you're
Your
like
body
so much
has what it does.
adrenaline, you don't notice how much you're overdoing it.
So here's a question: which injury of the two main injuries of for arm wrestling, bicep tear or arm break, do you think you come back stronger from?
I think you more can. Well, that's a hard. I think you come back. I think you come back like physically, like you're like strength, force output stronger from a bicep tear because of the way the tendon is reconnected. But your structure, like you're more. Your frame is going to be stronger from an arm break.
Hmm.
Like I don't know. Dustin's side pressure was also his elbow, but his ability to just trust his arm and just go to the side on it was like, and he did attest a lot of that to just being like, it's bionic now. Like, let's just so and then like Dave Chafee is another guy who broke his arm very early on. Like,
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, I didn't know
it was the second or third competition in, and the ref, he was like in a battle, and the ref told him like get your elbow back on the pad, I guess. And when he went to put his elbow back on the pad, like that somehow put him in the position where now he was too far out and his arm broke. And then anyway, yeah. So he's one who, like, if you think about how he pulls and like that the angle that he uses, it's very similar to Dustin's angle and very like.
Yeah.
So there is something there with when that's all like fucking reinforced from that shit,
Yes.
Can we get elective arm break surgery to reinforce that shit?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you did it electively, you probably wouldn't even need to break it. You would just put the plates in, right? And then like just in screwing into the bone, it would have to heal back. And I don't know if that you'd actually have to fracture the humerus through, but I heard Devin say, I don't know that I don't know any examples of it, but I heard Devin say that if you can get it set and heal that way, that it can be even stronger than if you get the rods in there. So I don't even know, or maybe just it's better because the rods start to get in the way of shit. Like I know that Dustin had some issues with his right arm because the surgery on his right arm wasn't nearly as good as the surgery on his left.
Yeah,
so, like, he had some like issues down his arm with the right arm.
I was going to mention with the topic of bicep tears and like how you can come back faster from experience myself and yourself, Jason. I think Monster Michael Todd, as hard-headed as he is, we might see this guy in like 6 weeks just come back on the table and start dominating. Probably not the best idea, but I wouldn't be surprised if he just literally in 6 weeks has a super match.
If he does that, then I'll be really disappointed, because the one thing that I'm really enjoying is the fact that he's actually being smart about it and taking the process properly. But I can see what you're saying, where about 6 weeks in, he's feeling so good with it. He's like, this fucking thing is like, he wants to test it. He's like, what is this thing capable of now that I've got all this range of motion and everything. And I hope he's smart enough to not do that, because with how crazy you saw his scars too, right? Like they did his whole elbow. Like the doctor said he spent more time grinding his elbow down and getting rid of all that extra calification than he did working on the bicep.
It's gonna take a long time to get strong after that,
And
right?
you heard about how the bicep tendon was, right? Like it didn't just separate like tendon from the bone this way. When it did, it was like all like a bunch of pasta noodles. Like it was all split up the tendon as well. Like it had been like sliced going up because the bones are so like serrated. The doctor said it was like coral, like a coral reef. And so the tendon, as it's going across his elbow, is just basically scraping back and forth on a coral reef. The doctor's literal words were it looked like a chew toy, like a dog's chew toy. So that you can just think of like so he had to like stitch it and like mend it all back together because it's supposed to look like a tube. So he had to mend it, make it look like a tube again, and then attach it into the bone.
Damn.
But when that thing, if that thing heals properly, if that thing actually like gets a chance to fucking properly heal, yeah, I think we might see. Like, think about Michael already with the beard. He's gonna be like the crazy George. Like he will be 65 years old and just fucking not moving this motherfucker. Like
It won't fix his technique though.
yeah.
No, well, I still think that his recent losses have come at the expense of his ego, because instead of actually performing the King's move the ugly way as he's proficient in, he was trying to do an open arm top roll and got caught by Ravaz, got caught by other people.
Yeah.
Like clearly, even on Gurbayev, he's clearly trying to arm wrestle the manly way, keeping his shoulder like well above the table, and there's nothing wrong.
Isn't that
I think we should
shoulder
abolish
rule
that rule completely. I think we should abolish it
Lewis.
completely. Losing position, any position, it should
No.
just literally be keep some part of your bicep,
What the fuck you talking
tricep, or
about?
elbow on the pad and get your opponent to your pin pad.
Lewis, it wasn't his ego. In his match with Angarbayev, he dipped and they fouled him, so he could have
Yeah, exactly.
not given a
Yeah,
fuck
but
and then he would have
I'd
lost.
argue
it.
I'd argue that he didn't even dip. I think they were just being super tight on him.
Yeah, that was a bullshit.
They were super strict on, but there were other opportunities in a winning position or neutral. So he's in neutral position, for example, or slightly winning, and he's raising up his shoulder for
Yeah,
some
that's
reason.
true.
We've
As
never
opposed
not
to
allowed
when
to be.
before when he got there, he would have dipped to get.
He would have kept going.
the same way George does. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
He's not as patient as he was before.
No, yeah. And but I think what Miguel, what you're saying about his technique, not that he's ever been a like extremely technically sound arm wrestler, but a lot of the reasons he only goes in that one direction is because his arm was so like fucked that he could only do that. Now, if he's actually able to maintain and build some strength into the other ranges that he has now, he might actually.
He can definitely get stronger, but at 40, I'm not sure how old he is, 45 at least, I'm assuming. Yeah, you can't unlearn 25 years of bad habits in time enough to like save your career.
Yeah, that's not a bad point.
But he
It's a
arm wrestled
neurological
for a
pattern.
long time.
What's that?
He arm wrestled a completely different way for a
Yeah,
long
I
time.
was just about to say, I think
Yeah.
it's not
It
giving him
still
enough
wasn't good
credit.
technically.
He was
I mean,
always
even when he
good
arm wrestled in
technically.
a hook, it wasn't like correct.
No, he had look at his old matches. He was very proficient in all styles. He could do anything.
I love his old match against Neil
Yeah.
Pickup where they're on the
He just
beach.
wasn't as good. He started becoming world level when he realized get bigger, get under the table, or utilize leverage, rotation, pronation, and a little bit of riser in the strap with 7-inch elbow pads. And you'll
Well,
be
no, that's not necessarily. He was a like UAL champion before he broke his, because it was when he broke his left arm that he started King's moving with his right because he couldn't pull himself across the table anymore the way he used to. So then he started pulling outside with his right arm, and then I don't know when it was that he started realizing how much of a bone lock he had, but the bone lock, from what I understand, even George says it's more caused from pulling in a hook. Like it's more caused from pulling in a hook all the time that then all of a sudden your arm doesn't want to straighten anymore.
Yeah,
that's why he pulls out
I
there.
remember Pork Chop talked about how he knew how to make himself get the bone lock. He's like, give me 6 months of just training and I'll get a crazy bone lock. I know how to get one.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, that's fucking next level. He knows how to get himself a
But
bone
apart
lock.
from King's moving, do you think it's an advantage to have a bone lock? Like,
No.
do you think it has negative consequences?
Yes. You can't get as tight.
Yeah.
If the bone lock is caused by overcalcification, which is not what Pork Chop's talking about doing when he creates one, he's not really creating a bone lock. He's just getting his bicep tendon so tight.
So tight.
Doesn't
Okay.
want to fully open up, right?
Okay. True.
But like what Michael Todd had and what I'm pretty sure George has and what Devin has when the elbow is so calcified. I agree with Miguel. It's not as good because if I can't straighten it, but if that means I also can't bring it in further than this,
true.
I would rather be able to straighten it and be able to bring it all the way back, right?
The thing is, Devin can though. Devin's press is extremely tight, even though his elbow doesn't straighten. So I'm not sure how bad his calcification is.
That is true, right? So it makes you wonder what causes that.
Well, he had the surgery to get all the gunk out of his elbow.
I think with Devin as well, though, he's also like his relative arm size compared to his proportions is so small relatively that he can get a little closer to the shoulder.
That's a good point.
Here, like Michael Todd has ballooned up 22-inch arms.
True. Yeah, true.
Yeah, it makes it even harder for him. Yeah, so maybe Devin could even get further if he didn't have that bone lock. He's even tighter inside.
He can like fully touch his stuff. Like Miguel's right. He's super mobile towards his body, like towards his body. What?
He must have worked on that because I know I've seen the videos where he's touching his wrist with his fingers as well.
Yeah, I'm saying that's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with. I'm saying that he's worked his mobility inward really, really, really good.
Yeah.
So it is
crazy wrist flexibility or really long fingers. I remember asking.
I think it's finger length.
I could still do that. Yeah, it must be the finger length. I don't know.
I think it is also flexibility though. Like,
yeah, exactly.
He said he's improved it over time. It's not like he's forcing his fingers to grow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm
saying.
He
has that like long wrist. He has this like extended wrist kind of, or like a long. I don't know.
There's some question in the chat. I like this question. Where are the sales coming from on East versus West pay-per-view buys? And he's saying Engin Musk, good name over there, good troll name.
Mm-hmm.
He says it's North America. That is the most obvious answer in the world. I would love to see the geographical distribution of pay-per-view buys in general, but I would bet a large sum of money that it's coming from Canada and the USA. Of course, dominantly the USA.
Well, mainly because of time zone issues. That's why they're appealing to our audience. They're releasing it at the time when everyone is awake in the West.
Well, I have a different viewpoint on that. I think it's because we have real fans. We have people. Remember, they come to our practice from time to time, once in a while, or they show up once. We have people who are interested in arm wrestling that don't arm wrestle. I would love to hear if people I'm not trying to throw shade here, but in Bulgaria, for example, a top arm wrestling nation that literally do not arm wrestle, that would love to watch the competitions, it would pay money. I think this is treated differently in Kazakhstan, Bulgaria, Poland, these places.
That's why it comes into. That's why it comes back. Like, it comes back to where is arm wrestling going to go, and like what level is it going to get to? And if arm wrestling wants to get to the level where we can have like athletes that actually make money that isn't just government supported to be like an Olympic sport, then it needs to appeal to people that don't arm wrestle, like Lewis is saying. It needs to appeal to an audience of people that watch it because they find watching it exciting.
That's why WAL was so great.
Yeah, WAL was good. WAL was really good.
It was so close onto that UFC, like bit of like funny WWE, but serious, like UFC, like motherfuckers getting knocked out or smashed.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really
good. The rules were made to go longer, right? Maybe even freedom arm wrestling might be the like end game of that, like the most entertaining.
The 7x7 elbow pad needs to be adopted immediately, in my opinion. Makes for way better matches.
Isn't it 7x9? I thought it was 7x9. 7x7 is the standard.
I keep saying 7x7. 7x9. Sorry, 7x9 is probably the best thing ever. We wouldn't have any Jerry versus Gennady bullshit.
Would you rather 7x9 or 9x9?
Fuck, you know what?
9x9.
9x9, yeah, freedom. That's what I'm saying. The more movement, the more entertainment, the more.
Steve,
but I don't disagree with the elbow pad thing, but I don't think changing the size of the elbow pad is like what's keeping people from watching the sport that don't watch.
Exactly.
No, but
this is again more of the issue with the arm wrestling is it's always made by arm wrestlers for arm wrestlers. It's not made like not giving a fuck about arm wrestling which is kind of hard to do, like, because we all care so much about arm wrestling, right? But that's why, like, John really brought it up too in the one we did like 2 weeks ago, where he was like, he still wonders if arm wrestling has really found the right way to be presented, which is what I still think is the issue. Like tournaments for sure, not the best way to get like a bunch of people interested in watching arm wrestling, and the super matches might be, but the issue
I'm not sure.
is there's not
Did
enough.
you not see the Pro Panja League? They just got a sponsorship to be on TV in India, which is the second biggest population in the world, and they only host tournaments.
Yeah, but I think Miguel, that one is heavily backed by like that. That's where you've got an entire nation where sport, especially sport like arm wrestling, can be backed based on either state government, big money, where people just enjoy the aspects of it. I don't think it's you can't really repeat the same success in North America.
Had tournaments right now a long time, and we haven't got them on ESPN, so it's obviously not worked so far.
No, and the tournaments that had like the one like
it was on ESPN.
Yeah, WL was.
That was WL.
WL was, yeah, because super matches.
The old Arm Wars on the Las Vegas top, where it's like the sunset Las Vegas, the slow mo.
Super matches.
WL was on ESPN when it was a tournament. 2015, 2016, WL was on ESPN. That was tournament one.
Nice.
It was tournament, but it wasn't big tournament style. And at that point, it was still like top guys. Like it was kind of the way that we're selling the finals for the East versus West right now. Like it's going to be Final Four, so you've got the top 4 guys. And the issue with it is that you don't have the character development. And like what Lewis is saying about the one in India, if it's super state sponsored, then they're going to spend the time and the effort to focus on some of the a few of the athletes from that tournament and make it about watching those athletes. So it's not that tournaments can't work. That's not necessarily the thing, but it's that they're not necessarily the right way to present the sport to people that don't arm wrestle, because again, if you go and watch a tournament, like it's not until the end of the tournament that you really know who you cared won or lost, because there's nothing backing it up other than that if you know the person already that is there, like because you know them. But
yeah, well, that's the thing that Pro Panja League does with the social media. All they're doing is promoting it on social media. And in today's day and age, sports like competitive jiu-jitsu, without Gordon Ryan and guys like him promoting it on their social media and doing the work themselves to get famous, sport wouldn't get any spotlight.
Yeah, but still because of the athletes that have the most popularity.
Yeah, and it's not it's not necessarily about popularity of a specific athlete. It's about making the sport watchable so that you don't care who's playing second base for the fucking Orioles. You just want to watch the Orioles.
Yeah,
you don't care who's playing center for the Lakers. You just want to watch the Lakers. And then yes, if the center for the Lakers is Shaquille O'Neal, that adds a new element to it. So it's kind of the same thing it can be the same thing for arm wrestling. And the thing with the super matches, the reason that they get a little stale in for watching is collectively, like as an overall, they most often become one-sided. It's very rare that you get a great super match that goes back and forth. It obviously happens, and when those do happen, they stand out as like amazing matches. But that's what you need for.
Yeah,
that's what makes a tournament kind of interesting to watch. If it is,
nobody wants to see that.
Everything is different,
3 times,
and every round is different. In a super match, once it starts to go a certain way, you just kind of see the same round, 3 or 4 times in a row. So that's where super matches to me become a little bit stale. Again, that's why I think it's about how it's being presented. I think I'm all about this, about the idea of turning it into a team sport and making it more strategic and stuff. So obviously I would continue to pitch that, but the point is sports are a vehicle for people to talk and to speculate, right? And that's with arm wrestling, with the way it is now, that is what we get excited about when a super match is coming up, what's going to happen. But within the first round, unless it's a crazy match, most of the time within the first round, everything is answered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I've got a different perspective very quickly. Like, I wonder what you guys think, because I think it's going to be divisive to some degree.
Ooh.
I don't necessarily think that TV, popularity, big sponsors are the way to grow the sport. I think it's got to go grassroots. To use a good example, that high school championship that just happened. I think we need to get as many people attempting arm wrestling on a table safely or at a practice as possible. If you can grow the grassroots, then you've got the web of family members. Like, think about the tournaments that we host, right?
Yeah.
You've got 100, 150 pullers. The biggest issue that I see with a lot of, like the tournaments in a sense, is participation of the immediate family. Why is it that a kid's fucking softball game, a shitty one, on a sport that is, in my opinion, useless? I'm exaggerating here. You can bring out grandma, you can bring out like the entire clan of people for a little shitty, like 7-year-old softball game, but somebody is a competitive arm wrestler. It could be a teenager, could be a young adult, and they can't even get their girlfriend to show up there, or maybe
dangerous,
mother, or
man.
etc. Yeah, maybe
it's dangerous,
it's
it's intimidating, it's scary.
So we got to get more participation.
Even as audience members, right, Lewis?
Audience, what? Sorry.
Even as audience members, you're asking why the family members don't come to tournaments, right?
Yes, audience.
Yeah, well, maybe it's because they're held at bars.
They're
not held in places where kids can like show up.
Okay, no, forget about the kids.
In the middle of fucking nowhere as well.
Bring your mom, bring your dad.
Yeah,
bring your mom and dad.
It's true.
Well,
it's always
it takes getting it to a level where, like, even the one at the high school was only for the high school kids that were there. There weren't spectators like allowed into that one as well. And I agree with Lewis that the way to get the sport out there, like to get it to grow, is to get it out there grassroots wise, so that everybody's hearing about it, because you have, like, you heard your brother or your uncle or your cousin or your sister's best friends, whatever, like, has talked about it, or they're doing it or something, or they've tried it, so it's starting to grow that way. But again, it's really about what the action of playing the sport, like, allows a spectator, again, that isn't super interested in just the sport, to kind of get involved in it. Like, if you're watching a basketball game, it's so easy to understand and watch, and there's so much physical acrobatics sort of, in the way that it's really interesting to watch, because what they're doing is like physically impressive, that it doesn't take much to get interested in it, as long as you're watching the score and you like blue or red. Like, that's all it comes down to, for you to get like, holy shit, what just happened, And for us, we've got to know that, like, Levon is the most untouchable fucking monster of all time. There's no way to stop this man's arm. To watch Ernie's do this and then this and then this, the arm wrestling will go, holy fuck, what's going on? And the only way to get that to happen for regular people is to simplify the sport and put it in a way where they can see simple numbers or simple things happening that all of a sudden become like, holy shit. That I see that, like, they start to understand. Once people start to understand that when your hand gets height, or when your shoulder really comes forward, like, something interesting is happening, and then they know that has something to do with.
I sort of disagree.
Or the team that care about winning. That's all it's going to take.
I think you gotta. I think I slightly disagree. I think you gotta have the people first, because for me, it was when I saw Devin and I saw like Travis and that other guy, Don Underwood, and like the way they do the slow-mos, and they're like, and then the shit talk. One guy's got this American accent, one guy's Canadian, the intensity in their eyes, and their cornermen rubbing their arm. Then you kind of like, whoa, like, like you kind of put yourself into the shoes of one of the athletes. And sort of like what Miguel was saying too, is that, like, the more you can make yourself a character, make yourself marketable, like that kind of thing. Because only some people care about the nuance of a fight. Like, watching jujitsu, some people will just look at it as like rolling around, like, oh, whatever, that's just like a weird fight. And other people are like, oh my god, the mastery of that move and then this move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sort of like chess too, where you can't appreciate it because you're not deep enough into it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I fully agree that it's definitely about the characters, and that's most often going to be the thing that gets people interested in it. And that, I think, is like sort of, it's almost becomes a byproduct of the sport growing. Like, the more the sport grows, the more characters we're going to get in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
It's also the product though. Like that's what I was getting at is the arm wars, the way they do the slow-mos and getting those faces and those close-ups and seeing the sweat and like Devin's psycho eyes and that's what I got. Like that's what hooked me when I was younger and I didn't even start it. That was like 10 years. I was like stoned late at night, flipping through TV and I see ESPN and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Arm wrestling? And I'm like, and then I got hooked and I watched it for like an hour or more. And then the next day I was like, whoa, that was crazy. But then I forgot about it.
But I think we all have the same like starting journey of how we started arm wrestling in a sense. Devin Larrett, other characters, we were all somewhat involved in some level of either strength sport or we wanted to get stronger. We thought it was a manly thing. I think that only represents a tiny portion of the people that could be either participants, spectators, or people who have money and can buy merch, pay-per-views, and arm wrestling, right? Like,
I think there's a majority of men that want to get stronger.
That's where I disagree.
I
disagree, Alex. There's Olympic. I'll give you Olympic weightlifting as a sport. Olympic weightlifting is a very, very established sport with the smallest amount of fucking participants you can possibly find, with established clubs, coaches. It's on TV in a lot of different nations. It's got lots of popularity. Nobody wants to do it. It's in every gym now. You can walk into a Good Life, you'll see some dude doing a shitty power clean.
Oh yeah,
snatch. It's got lots of, and nobody wants to do it. So I think it's like arm wrestling. The way that I see it, like to end off, is I personally want people to enjoy arm wrestling as spectators and maybe like as hobbyists once in a while, and that's when it can actually grow and have the necessary financial capital to host bigger tournaments, more super matches, and have realistic money involved in it. If it stays like a niche strength sport of us and trying to figure out how we can get more of us, I can't see it growing.
So I went to a party this weekend, and there was a bunch of drunk dudes, and all of a sudden they want to arm wrestle. Someone said, I want to arm wrestle, right? And I see these two guys, all my buddies know that I arm wrestle competitively. So automatically they were like, oh my God, you guys want to arm wrestle? You got to arm wrestle him. I'm like, guys, let's not. Like, oh, you want to arm wrestle? You want to arm wrestle? Then it became more of like an ego thing. Now, when I started arm wrestling them, I tried to be very safe, you know me,
Yeah.
They didn't understand the fact that they thought it was, no, you're not allowed to bend your wrist. You're not allowed to use your body. What the fuck are you doing? I'm like, actually,
lever.
The way it actually is. And they're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And then I show them these little tricks. Like they'll go to the side and all I do is kick my wrist back up. So they're not curling their wrist. And they're like, wait a minute, why are you curling your wrist in? That's not how you do it. That's not arm wrestling. You're supposed to keep it straight. I'm like, no, actually, you can cup, you can drag back and forth. You can use your body. You can push, pull. There's so much into arm wrestling. They're like, wait, what? And then when I started teaching them all these little techniques and little moves, they went from, holy shit, I didn't know this. I want to even go and find out even more. I'm like, yeah, watch videos, watch all this. It's the initial like moment where they're like, oh my God, there's actually like technique to this. Like, almost like testing. That's when I thought hard to, project when people just talk about arm wrestling. They don't know that you have to go into the sport for a while to understand that whole dynamic of the hill and all that stuff.
And that starts in high school, right? That's where you learn that arm wrestling is just this.
Exactly.
Right? You had the high school championships.
Top roll is cheating. Hook. Top roll is cheating.
Bending your wrist is cheating, bro. You can't bend your wrist.
Can't bend your wrist.
You can't do this.
Into the side. But that's not that's the furthest thing from arm wrestling. I mean, it may be free, it is, but now that I'm in it,
love that.
Like how much farther, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure. I bet how many people started arm wrestling like this on lunch tables, hurt themselves, and then never want to do it again.
Right. All right.
And that's grassroots.
And that's why it has so much potential to grow, is because it's such a primitive sport. You can everybody can relate to it. Yeah. And then what Eddie's saying is so true. As soon as people can see the intricacy in it and understand that doing this is just as complicated as boxing and dodging and weaving and all that shit, that's when it starts to like you said, it starts to open doors where you want to learn more and it snowballs on you. And I've been saying this for a while now. I feel like the two main things that blow people away that they start to realize that, you know what I'm going to say, right, Alex?
No, I was just watching Steve Fight a bull on stream.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm about to do the same.
CBD, man. It's
What I was
CBD.
going to say is that it's the David and Goliath. It's so when they see a really big guy get destroyed by a little guy, that all of a sudden people go, wait, what the fuck? Like, how did that happen? Explain that to me. Or if they get an opportunity by seeing a number of people arm wrestle, where they see like I can beat Alex and Alex can beat Lewis, but then Lewis beats me, and they're like, what the fuck? That doesn't. How does that work? And then it's those two. When those two things happen, it opens up the door to explain to them, oh, it's because this technique and that technique and the whole rock paper scissors. What's that? Yeah, styles make matches.
When people learn that, they're like, oh.
That's what Neil nailed, and that's why his matches would have that so well, is that that would be exposed inside the match. So then you would start to like, it would draw you in, you know? Yeah. And then obviously I agree with the presentation is huge and making it like grabbing that intensity. But again, that's like the intensity is such a byproduct of arm wrestling. Like, go to an arm wrestling practice that isn't intense. I dare you, find one, you know, like there's always going to be a level of intensity that's reached, or find me a competitive match that doesn't have a level of intensity to it. Like, the intensity is there. It's just a matter of how you capture it. And if anything, where we've made mistakes is like things like Game of Arms, where they go too far with the drama and overplaying it.
I loved it. I loved every second of it, every minute of it. I'm dying for season 2.
I don't think it's
season 2.
It's not watchable.
Exactly, though, Steve. I'm sure you loved it, but why didn't it air? It's not because of arm wrestling. It's because the matches were fake and people caught on to it, and there was too much drama between the actual arm wrestlers to continue on with the seasons. They were beating the fuck out of each other on fucking camera. So,
by the way,
I loved it so much.
Hey, kind of a segue.
To be some balance, right?
Does anybody know what happened? Because this is related to Game of Arms and all the big money tournaments back in the day, like right pre-WoW. What happened to that scam artist old man, Marvin or whatever, who said about a year and a half ago that it was going to be on ESPN? Remember the Arnold? So the one where Devin competed at the Olympia, that he was going to get like an ESPN spot and it was going to be on TV, and there was big drama on Arm Wrestling Uncensored being like, this guy's a scam artist, and a bunch of people came out. He was the guy that supposedly fell through with the funding on that UAL event that Devin beat Oleg Jok at.
Okay.
But I was just going to segue in the sense like, the money aspect of it, the financials of it, whenever there's some big savior of like, I've got this money and I'm going to give it to you for arm wrestling and I'm going to do XYZ, it never comes through because there's no financial gain to happen, right? Unless somebody just wants to donate.
Yeah, we should take a look at the chat. We haven't looked at the chat in a while.
Oh, no, I wanted to bring up a point quick. What do you guys take on that whole Vitaly and big guy match that was
that is going to ruin the sport? That pissed me off.
Yeah, I didn't realize, but I did watch it and I was kind of tired and I'm like, oh, Vitaly's really kind of just chilling, eh? Because it seemed like he could have wham and ended the match.
And when he goes like he's trying and then he's like, oh,
yeah,
right. Okay. Like, bro, we've seen you give it your all and get like, I know what it looks like when Vitaly is about to fucking die, and that was at all. You know?
Yeah, I got totally fooled. I barely noticed it.
That kind of shit, fake matches like that is what's gonna, maybe it's not, because 80-20 rule, like bad attention can be good attention. It could get a lot of hype where it's like,
bad publicity is good publicity.
They bring all this negative attention. It actually brings a lot of attention, and then it, whatever. But
hashtag the Ryan Bowen effect.
Oh, yeah.
He who must not be named.
So at least it was live though. Sorry, I had to drop that in there.
Yeah.
Anybody know what happened with Devin and Gennady yet?
What do you mean?
I heard Gennady was calling him a
another inside joke.
Punch him.
That they've already pulled, but maybe
already pulled.
I know.
Nice.
Sorry, Neil.
Yeah, that was a good
one. Matona in the chat, she says you guys need to make a show like Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, I know. I started saying that. Trust me, there's
Game of Arms was a bit like that. That's why I loved it.
We'll see how far we get, but there's plenty.
Apparently, WWE and UFC have combined to make some like entertainment sports thing.
What What did
I
you
don't
say?
know if it was fake news. I don't know if it was fake news. Let me actually look it up before I start talking. But apparently WWE and UFC combined and made some like entertainment super thing or super company.
WWE, like wrestling
Yeah.
and UFC. Well, doesn't Ronda Rousey wrestle now? Isn't she at WWE?
A bunch of the old UFC, yeah.
Yeah.
people-
WWE and UFC combined into one entertainment company.
Oh,
Two days.
wow.
PTV.
Hey, merger is.
Everybody's
Listen,
doing that now, making
if
their
anybody-
exclusive
And
platform.
real wrestling.
There's only one savior that can save the sport if you want to be instead of the grassroots level, like the Jesus savior, and it's Dana White. If somebody can convince him
I
to get
know.
rid of power slap and just put some money behind arm wrestling and see what happens.
But that's
I think
what-
it'll be a very
Might.
tough sell.
Now that there's
I don't know that it has to be. I don't know that it has to be Dana White, but we need to find our Dana White.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
I think
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
crazy enough to. I mean, he latched on to power slap after trashing it.
Yeah.
So-
How is he not? When he sees Larry Wheels now too, and like if Brian Shaw,
Right, he might jump on it. Look,
it's getting.
He's like anybody who doubts the trajectory of arm wrestling right now is better just shake their head because it's fucking coming.
Oh yeah.
Did you see Aussie Arm Wrestler was in the chat there for a second, wishing us luck this weekend?
Oh,
Yes,
nice.
thank you, Aussie Arm Wrestler.
Ready, bang!
Uh,
And he bang, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Look at
mate.
that
Get on.
No live commentary in pay-per-view though. Watch
Yeah,
it,
mate.
enjoy
No
it,
live
and then
commentary.
tell everybody to go watch it.
But no recaps either until 2 weeks after the event.
Yeah.
And no
Yeah.
commentary of
Only
my commentary either.
But yeah, no, thank you. We hope it is good, and yeah, please watch it, Aussie Arm Wrestling.
Eddie, you're competing this weekend? What class? Right and left? Pro?
right for sure. Left will be a game day decision.
All right.
Okay.
Don't pull left, Eddie.
Eddie, I've got one piece of
You hold your
advice.
pan class?
What are you at 200 or you're not making weight, right?
Me?
No, it's gonna be 200.
No, I'm like 174 right now. I'm gonna water cut tomorrow.
You are? You're gonna do 170?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Eddie, I've got one piece of advice, Eddie. Don't hate me for this. When
What's
you
that?
win your first match, please don't celebrate.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. You don't
Why?
remember, do you? At
No.
the strong arm wrestling tournament. I was your ref. I saw you jump up with excitement like you had won the tournament after your first match, and I was like, he's fucked now. I could tell in your face your adrenaline had gone. You're gonna lose your next match for sure.
When he beat Troy?
Yeah.
I remember when I played
You're getting congratulations, and I was your ref, so I couldn't say anything, but I wanted to yell at you and be like, yo, shut the fuck up and get ready to arm wrestle. You're about to get destroyed.
I did not do that. No way.
Yeah.
I
When?
was
Late night?
when I said,
No, he was tired. I
Yeah,
have the video.
like,
He
bro,
was
you
just
got-
like, "Oh, thanks, guys."
I felt I was happy that I beat Troy, obviously, but then Troy came up to me and congratulated me. I'm like, thank you, Troy. Like I was happy that.
But
Troy-
that circle jerk kept going. These guys, the table, our training partners didn't help either. Like I was reffing the tournament. I was like, what did it end? Did he win? Like, was this the finals?
No,
Like, there's a lot of competitors out there, man. Like, get back.
I knew the fact that my first match, there was a bunch of guys I was scared of there. There was no way I would be like that. I was tired. It was 12 o'clock. I was exhausted. I was pretty cranky.
I get it, but
I was pretty
Yeah,
cranky.
you look so miserable. I remember.
Oh,
I
was
just
so-
need,
I was
yeah.
so-
It,
so many
ran
people look
long.
miserable. But
I just need forget about who you beat. The tournament lost a long time.
yeah, it was a long
Yeah,
day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, when was it? Provincials. I lost my first match, and then I came back, and that woke me up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
We
right.
played Derek.
Really well provincials, and I was like, so I don't know. I gotta watch the video again because I'm pretty sure I maybe I was happy, but I was more okay. That happened. Okay, but I made sure
Yeah,
to be.
you didn't-
Because
you didn't
if-
go crazy.
My only point, to not make it too long of a point, but my only point is if you were to repeat that tournament and be in the zone, I think you would have done a hell of a lot better and had a chance of winning easily. But you were out of it. After I saw you, you were just out.
But-
If you could
no,
repeat
but-
it, you could have won the tournament.
Eddie told me Troy changed up his style when he pulled him the second time and completely bullied him.
You can change up your
So-
style too, man.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Louis, I did what you're saying once when I won my first match of provincials right hand. I got so excited, and then right after, I was like, "Oh, you know, and I think I like let down to Miguel, but then I had a second to breathe or whatever, and all of a sudden I got so hot and I adrenaline dumped, and the next match I lost, and I was like, fuck.
Steve, you let that match down?
Well, I'm not gonna play you right-handed, bro. You want me to get my arm broken?
No, Miguel false started for sure.
Plus,
Yeah,
if
for
I
sure.
try, like, come on,
Oh,
what
yeah.
am I gonna try for?
Are you
Maybe
pulling
for
left?
left hand, but no.
You pulling left this weekend, Steve?
I don't know if I'll pull left.
Oh.
It'll
Pull
be
left.
amateur.
Pull
It'll be
left.
amateur. It's kind of fucked up. Knuckles
Ouch.
kind of.
That's not going to stop you from arm wrestling.
I
Put
can't
chalk
really make.
on it. You'll be
I
fine.
can't make a real fist. Yeah,
Hey,
maybe if I can
let's-
just get the strap.
No one cares about left.
Yeah,
Fuck
exactly.
you, Eddie.
We should wrap it up soon. Any last questions from the chat?
Or last statements from the.
Yeah, or statements.
I'm gonna drop to 170, boys.
Do it.
Come on, dude.
Okay, then pull left.
Okay.
Pull left.
Lewis dropped to 170.
I am
Sorry.
170.
Kilo.
That's how you identify
Do it.
one arm, man.
Five is 170.
Yeah,
It's
100.
not, wait, it's not. Wait, do you want me to take a video on a scale to show that I'm 170? I can do that.
It's like when I weighed in for my match with
I'll compete
Andre.
at 170. I'll show you a video on a scale. I'm not gonna be grabbing anything. It's literally gonna be a 360. The scale will say 170 pounds.
Is
If
it
you
broken?
accept that, I'm showing up.
Yeah, well,
That's because you can
Just be
manipulate
around.
scales. But
I demand the second scale be tested.
no, I know because I'll rehydrate after that to like 241.
It's a 3, but the batteries are dead. It's 370.
I'll just rehydrate right after. Right?
It's 370, but the battery's 1,000.
But yeah, no, not joking on that one. JW, if his weight cut goes well and he rehydrates, he might show up as the biggest 170 there. He's gonna cut to 170 and then rehydrate to 85.
He's doing it right too, man. He's following the. Miguel, what did you start your cut at?
I was 186 on Saturday.
Jesus.
Maybe Miguel's gonna beat him then. Well, you're
Wow.
I would have beat him if I was 165, but yeah, sure.
No,
That's
on the
why.
cut. What-
on the weight gain. You're gonna regain the weight and show up like way heavier.
Yeah, I'll weigh in on Saturday because I'm weighing in Friday. I'll get on the scale on
Cut
Saturday.
carbs this week, Miguel? Did you cut carbs this week?
Yeah, I've been eating carnivore Monday to Friday for the past 3 weeks.
Okay.
As it is
Yeah.
through the link for the finals round robin pay-per-view in the group or in the chat. That's for the pro tournament finals where we're gonna run it down to final 4, and then in the finals there'll be a round robin between the 4 best pullers from each class.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's gonna be awesome.
Uh,
And we got it's gonna be
Can't wait.
Yeah, man.
You know, I had one quick last thought, boys, for the tournament. Not very legal / legal, whatever it is, but I remember Devin's, his gambling addictions in a sense. I think we should try to get more of the audience participation to bet on it. Obviously, I can't bet on it. I would love to, but I'm a referee. But I think we should put some money there. Not for anything else, but besides just put your money where your mouth is and just see who wants to back who.
Have a table for bets.
interesting ways to do that. But
Get Devin started there. I got 20.
You gotta make it a cash only event then.
What are the odds though, Lewis? There needs to be an odds maker.
it is basically it is a cash only event once you're there.
Is it? Yeah.
There's
Cash only for
banks everywhere, but yeah, we like the bar. I guess you can buy like the bar will probably take ATMs, but cards and stuff. But yeah, all the registration or the tickets for the food, all that stuff will just be cash. So
Miguel, we can make some side bets if I'm there early enough on the amateur tournament. Since I'm not reffing, I'm allowed to bet on that, right? On the side.
I won't be there for the amateur tournament.
All right. Well, I won't. We'll bet on matches where we don't even know the guys. I'll just literally bet based on set up. But wait, we have to we can finalize the bet right before the go. It's gonna be
after close your thumbs.
Grip first, and
I'll close your thumbs.
Yeah, that's it.
After close your thumbs, bets have to be sealed.
After close your thumbs, that's it. I'll know my horse. I'll know this dude. He's a fucking cheater. He'll win.
All right, let's do it.
We got a super chat from USS Liberty Never Forget. Another 420 super chat.
Thank you for that.
Miguel versus Paul Maiden. Miguel, why don't you kick us off? Who's your guy?
Wait, sorry. Who versus Paul Maiden?
BLM. Bacon, lettuce, mayonnaise.
Oh, yeah.
Bureau of Land Management.
What's the weight? Is there like a weight cap?
I believe 220, 240, something like
And
that.
no
Brendan.
steroids.
At
No,
220, Brendan. At 240, still Brendan. I'd say like 60-40, depending on the reffing.
Steve, after you hit that, give us your prediction.
It's too
I'll
fast.
go with Brendan as long as he doesn't, get drunk the night before.
Yeah, that is the thing. Lewis?
So I need some clarifying details here. Where is it held? Are there any tents, and who's reffing?
It's in Canada. I don't know about the tent situation.
Is it
There will be
outdoor or
tents.
indoor?
The indoor with tents.
Indoor with tents. Okay, and who's reffing?
Undecided, yeah, I guess. I don't
In
know.
Canada, you could be.
If Crazy
You
George
Lewis.
and Earl are reffing, then BLM is going to sweep 6-0.
In the best of 5.
I'm exaggerating, but if both Daves, if literally both Daves are reffing, especially Dave Campbell, then BLM loses the first 2 rounds on fouls alone, and then it's a dog fight. Maybe he'll come back and win the next 3. But there's bound to be fouls. The reffing matters heavily, and if there's a tent, and if it's held in Alberta. But all joking aside, I did watch that match he had with Evan. If BLM comes in shape, I think he's going to sweep him. If he doesn't come in shape, he gets swept.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Sheen asks, will the event be recorded? The whole event? Yes, the pro event will be live streamed on our channel. Pay-per-view finals will be on the link I just put in the chat through Balam Live. That's Umesh's.
Is the amateur event being filmed at all?
Sorry?
Is the amateurs being filmed?
No, not by us. Anyone wants to film can.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's what they meant. Sheen's not pulling pro.
Top troll exclusive? Top troll exclusive?
I don't know if I could try. I could try. I'm assuming if Umesh is there, he always does the nicest.
Or
so.
Umesh exclusive? The amateurs?
Yeah.
Get them
I had a feeling you probably want to do that.
I can't compete. I can't compete amateur. Try my hardest, and also do commentary and also film. So
You're not pulling amateur.
I'm pulling amateur, man.
Fuck no, you started the same time as me.
Yeah, 3 years. That's
Steve,
the
if you pull
limit.
amateur, so am I.
All right, fine. I'm
Pull
not
pros.
stopping you.
Be a man.
No, you've won stuff. I haven't won. I'm like a winner of a bottom 8.
You've won super matches, Steve. You've won multiple.
Yeah, you beat Tom Higgins, bro.
One right hand.
Tom Higgins beat me.
One left hand.
This is another reason why arm wrestling needs belts like karate, so we can establish. It doesn't matter if you've been doing it for 10 years. If you're still a blue belt, you're still a blue belt. It's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Kevin Carrier says, "What's up?"
Yeah.
No problem.
What that means?
Kevin's making weight too. He's been.
Kevin,
But
come on, Kev. Come on, Kev.
Lewis, I'll make a bet with you right now.
I've always been a big fan.
Well, what's the bet? Wait, Miguel. Wait, we're doing a
I
bet.
love the
JW, if JW and Kevin match up, right arm.
Oh, I got JW winning. I know you got JW winning
Kevin,
too.
right arm. Yeah,
JW's a beast.
You can't bet against your boy.
got a real good answer for Kevin and his levers, but you saw Kevin smash those guys a few weeks ago or a month ago or whatever.
Doesn't matter. I'm helping JW with this training. It's not.
No, I'm
JW's a beast.
I'm rooting for JW.
Who did he beat though?
Kevin?
What's that?
Who
Is
did
he
Kevin
pulling
beat?
him in a super match?
No,
Oh,
Steve, the weed's just hitting you, man.
Just now?
no, that was a while ago. But yeah, Kevin, him.
They're both in the 170 category.
And I'm not pulling right.
Saturday. Buy your pay-per-view for the finals because we might see, who knows, maybe Kevin and JW in the final round robin, right? Stranger things have happened. They're both fast enough.
170 Pro is stacked. Dan Belfay.
Like I said, who knows? There's you're telling me there's a chance. There's a chance
that Dan Belfay shows up.
No, there's a chance that they make it to the finals.
What about
Depends on the draw too.
Mathematically, but
yeah, the draw
matters.
Yeah, but
anything
maybe
can
I'll
happen.
think of a good match and then we'll bet. We will bet together.
Well, I mean, I can't think of good matches with myself because I'm training tomorrow. I'll show up. I'll still beat
No,
most
no. I mean,
people
when we
left.
get there, we'll pick a weight category, and then you can pick somebody. I can pick somebody. I want to gamble as long as I'm not reffing on that match. Clearly, and that's why
Who's coming at 200 besides Victor? Who's like one of the top guys coming at
John
200?
Theria, they said.
John
John's.
Anthony.
I think Jake Charles is coming. I assume he's going to try to make 200.
Reska, Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Jordan's not winning after vacation. He's like coming back from vacation. He's not.
Well,
No, he's
top four.
well fed, and
Yeah, I don't know. Fuck.
Done. He's gonna be.
that could be a recipe for a very dangerous Reska.
Yeah.
I'll bet on those matches.
All right, just for you, Miguel. Actually, no, I don't know if I can make this bet, but we can.
Victor
do
or John?
That I'm going with my boy Victor to shock the world. He's winning the class.
Wow.
200, yeah.
Both arms are just both arms are left.
Troy
And right.
Eaton's in there. Listen, Troy Eaton's in there, and
One of each arm. One of the arms he's gonna win. I don't
Victor.
know which one.
Yeah. Well, look, and Troy's pulling 200, and he was one of the first guys I asked to ref, and he was like, "No, I'm competing. I don't want to ref. Sorry." He was like full on focused from like 3 months out. Like, so Troy's coming in with a mission too, man. It's 200 is going to be competitive. Should be
I have Victor and John in the finals of that class.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm down
Well,
with it. Unless,
I do have a dark horse. My dark horse to be in the finals. My
Sorry?
dark horse to be in the finals with a lot of good setup, a few hits on the R of ready go. Is Josh Rodriguez in the finals?
Yeah.
He's making 200.
Yeah, so he's like barely 200 pounds.
Yeah.
I thought he was training last weekend.
And he's gonna need to get to that finals. He's gonna need a lot of things to go right. But if they go right, he can pin you.
Yeah. No,
Josh will make. I think Josh can make the final four if the draw is
Hit
good.
on the R on the ready go. Start here, and you're good.
Wait,
to
so
go.
sorry, Jason and Alex. Do you guys want to like really quickly go through the classes and pick like a top 2 or a top 4, just off of who we know who's going right now?
100% who's showing up, so it's hard to say. But I mean, I'd say 170 right hand. You probably got like Belfay and Wade near the top.
I think Brad's left is the injured arm right now. Yeah, his right.
Brad's right is injured. Then I don't know. Right could be kind of open. At
Matt Hamlin.
Hamlin, yeah, sorry, that's right. Yeah, fucking right. Lewis said that earlier. Yeah, Hamlin. I'm sorry, I forgot about him. Yeah, he's apparently he's fucking nasty right now, so he's probably up there. 200, I'd have to go Terrian and Victor, and then unless Alan Ford makes weight or something at 200, then I would throw him in that mix too.
Even if he makes weight, I'd still put Tyrion and Victor.
No, I know. I'm not saying he'd win. I'm just saying he might be like maybe.
Is Yannick coming at 240? Yannick,
Yeah, Yannick at 240, BLM at 240, fucking Matt Mask at 240, Jamie Staken.
Matt Mask? He's gonna make the weight?
Matt said
Yeah, he's like 245. He's only cutting 5 pounds.
Yeah, he said he wants to make the weight, which I thought he would pull supers, but like I even made the joke to somebody, I don't know who I said it. I think I might have said it to Miguel. I was like, watch him pull both just to prove a fucking point. Like,
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, whoever actually goes up against Matt Mask, if they even attempt to pull instead of laying down, they're stupid.
Brendan's gonna pull him. Brendan will give him the go.
Yeah, he's gonna tire himself out. I don't think, based on what I was seeing as well. Obviously, Jordan Sona was a different caliber and he knew what to do, but like, I don't think anybody in this tournament is gonna even come close to stopping him. I think they could start in a hook, literally 1 inch away from the pin pad,
No.
and can roll out.
I mean, Sonev is a
Oh yeah,
big inside. Who's?
But I just think Matt's so
242.
far high level, and he has something to prove. If he actually like,
Will Walsh is showing up. Culinary just said Will Walsh is showing up. That's
170.
Yeah, if he shows up at 170, that's a beast.
Is he only pulling left?
I don't know, but he just.
I know Will's.
Walsh.
I know Will's left
Will
is
Walsh
like
is fucking strong.
his left is like up here compared to his right.
Oh,
Like,
really?
both arms are good, but his left is like miles above.
Really good?
Yeah, there could be some like lower or lesser known American guys coming, eh?
Yeah.
RBJ.
He's not lesser known.
Is
but
RVJ coming?
He's a fucking animal.
Wait, is RVJ coming?
Drink a beer with him.
I don't know.
We
If
don't
he-
know.
Fired up.
Because if RVJ is coming, then Matt Mask will also flash pin him too.
Yeah.
I'm that confident. I
Yeah,
just
Rob's
saw
not
a
200 pounds right now.
training video.
Yeah, I expect Mac to come in like a fucking serial killer and just be
Yeah.
like death,
Yeah.
like staring through souls and just
Yeah.
fucking.
Is he pulling both arms, Jason? Do you know?
So,
I don't know. He said his
it's
left was kind of sore, but from what I remember, he did buy like 2 registration forms. So I don't know what his plan is exactly, but
I don't know if he's the favorite left.
no, I don't know if he would be the favorite left.
Olzan might be.
Tyler's pulling 240.
Olzan.
And
He's
what
gonna
about
be
Jamie
240.
too?
Jamie Staken, yeah.
No, Tyler beat Jamie at Nationals left hand.
Well,
I-
I mean,
All right, what do you guys say? I gotta head out. So
Yeah.
cut it out. It's after
True.
10 now. My fucking
Steve, eat the chicken.
yeah.
Eat the
Just-
chicken, man. You gotta grow. His biceps are too small.
I
I was the
know.
first to make the choices.
Alex, haven't you only been
Yeah.
training biceps for like 3 months?
It's still bigger than Steve's.
My shoulders, my good.
Not that
my
it says
shoulders are
much.
Better
Thanks
genetic.
for the end.
It's a participation award.
All right, guys. What do you say? I'm gonna
All right.
close it.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys on
All
the
right.
weekend.
All right.
Stay
Peace out,
strong
chat.
and
See
love
you on the
arm wrestling.
weekends.
Thank you guys. Thanks everybody in the chats.
See you guys.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Yeah.